Colorado. This is N0NYY, November 0, November Yankee Yankee, and I will be net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. This net may be interrupted at any time if there is emergency traffic. Simply say break or your call sign, and we will suspend the net until your traffic has been handled. The purpose of this net, in addition to training for how nets work, is to provide an opportunity to ask questions, get answers to things you've always wondered about, find out who are good contact people for various types of information, and generally get to know the people on the radio a little bit better. This is a directed net. Traffic will usually go through net control. Sometimes if two people get going on an exchange, then it's okay for them to go direct with each other. That's perfectly okay. I will take check-ins in groups of 3, and I will read back your call sign after I receive 3 check-ins. And if you don't hear your call sign and you attempted to check in, it may be that you doubled with someone and that someone won. So if you don't hear your call sign after every group of 3, then go ahead and try again. I will begin by taking check-ins from EchoLink. If anyone on EchoLink would like to check into the net at this time, please call net control now. And hearing nothing, I will accept check-ins from stations with a call suffix alpha through Mike. Stations with suffixes ending in alpha through Mike. Please call net control now, and do state if you have a topic or question for the net this evening or an announcement.
K0MLG, Kilo 0, Mike Lima Golf, Marty. What's the topic?
This is N0EMP, November 0, Echo Mike Papa, Greg in Fort Collins with Debbie, K0DBE, Kilo 0 Delta Bravo Echo, no traffic.
All right, Net would like to acknowledge K0MLG with a topic N0EMP, Greg, and K0DBE. Next 3, go ahead.
Kilo Foxtrot, Romeo Papa here, Fort Mobile, no topic.
This is KF0 ODD, off from Bertha. Whiskey 0 Charlie Sierra Lima, Kurt from Longmont.
Okay, we'll break there. KF0 RPS, you were a little broken into the repeater. I did not get your name or location. Go ahead again if you would, please.
KF0 RPS, this is Rick, Mobile and Fort.
Okay, I think I copied Rick and did you were mobile somewhere, but you're less than 50% copy. But we have you checked in. Now, would like to acknowledge KF0RPS, KF0ODD, and W0CSL. Next 3, go ahead, please.
N0BNK, November 0, Bravo, November Kilo, Rick in LaPorte.
K0AZA, Kilo 0 Alpha Zulu Alpha, Ron in Fort Collins.
This is Kilo 0 Papa Romeo Bravo, K0PRB, Phil in Loveland.
All right, we'll break there. That would like to acknowledge N0BNK. Good to hear you, Rick. K0AZA and K0PRB. Phil, good to hear you on today. Next group of 3, please call now. We're still doing alpha through Mike on the suffixes.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Uniform Juliet Sierra, Cody in Fort Collins.
WA9FBO, Whiskey Alpha 9, Foxtrot Bravo Oscar, Bob in LaPorte.
This is AE0CF Alpha, Echo 0, Charlie Foxtrot, Ben, Fort Collins.
Okay, we'll take a break there. And that would like to acknowledge KF0UJS, WA9FBO, AE0CF. Next 3, go ahead, please. All right, let's go ahead and open it up to all suffixes, Alpha through Zulu. Go ahead and call now.
John in Eaton, KF0QGT.
KF0QGT, John much. There was another station that doubled. Go ahead.
KF0RUW, Randy in Loveland.
Was that Romeo Uniform Whiskey?
Correct.
And I did not state in my preamble, so that's my fault. But do give your call alphabetically, such as N0NYY. Phonetically, using ITU International Phonetics, November 0, November Yankee Yankee. And my apologies, so I omitted that from the preamble. Next group of three, go ahead, please.
This is WB5TEX, Whiskey Bravo 5, Tango Echo X-Ray, Dale, Loveland. No traffic.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Sierra Hotel X-Ray, KF0, SHX, Norm, Johnstown. Good evening, Bart.
All right, we'll take a break there. That acknowledges KF0QGT, KF0RUW, WB5TEX, and KF0SHX. Good to hear you, Norm. Next group of three, go ahead, please. All right, this is N0NYY, Net Control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. My name is Bart. I am in Evans, Colorado. We will continue to accept check-ins, late check-ins as need be, no problem there. We'll go ahead and get started with the net. K0MLG, Marty, go ahead, sir.
Bad timing. The UPS guy just showed up and leaving. Some of you may have known that I've been fighting a noise on RF noise on HF rather, and power line noise got remedied by XL. That was a loose staple holding a ground wire at the very top of the power pole, a mile and a half away. And that was masking another noise, right? And that was a hum every 60 cycles, so I thought it was power line again. And so XL came back out, and we started the whole test all over again, killing the power, the main power, the XL power, which normally they won't do that, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't coming from the house, and it was. And figured it out, it's the compressor, or, well, maybe not the compressor, but the electronics that run a modern refrigerator with a linear compressor. And I think that linear compressor, the power supply for that is a linear power supply, and that's on all the time. And every 60 cycles, it causes a slight hum, which kind of sounds a little bit like, it sounds quite a bit like power line noise, but when you look at it on a scope, it has a different profile. And the scope that XL has is some high dollar stuff, right? Getting some info out here, and all of a sudden it's 25-mile-an-hour winds. And anyway, so his scope could see the noise that sounded like power line, but wasn't, because every noise has a different fingerprint, we'll call it. So anyway, if you're on 40 or 80 regularly, and every now and then you're getting a noise and you can't quite figure it out, unplug your refrigerator or turn the circuit off that it's plugged into, so you don't have to pull it out, and see if that fixes it. K0MLG.
And did you find a remedy for that compressor noise, Marty?
Okay, just give me a second, I'll get the other radio.
Oh, Roger. Okay, go ahead. All right. Well, noise can definitely come from a lot of different places. A lot of these modern refrigeration appliances use a brushless DC motor that is controlled by numerous circuits, and it's certainly possible to create some weirdness. I think the staple at the top of that power pole, that's just crazy. I wonder how long it took them to find that. Anyway, do we have any other topics or questions for the net this evening, please?
Well, I'm back. I had to change radios.
I'm afraid I doubled with you there. All I heard was change radios.
Yeah, I said I'm back. I had to change radios.
Roger. Okay. Did you find a solution for that noise from the compressor?
Nope. I took the back of the refrigerator off, and did a nice thorough cleaning, and I put ferrite beads on every group of wires that I could get a ferrite bead on. I put ferrite beads on the power cable, right as close to where the power cord goes into the whole bunch of components in there. Didn't even phase it. So I use an infant half wave, and I moved it away from that side of the house, and that helped. The only thing that's going to cure it for me will be to move the antenna farther away. Now, some people that have limitations that can't do that, I wish you well, because I haven't come up with a solution yet.
Roger. Well, it gets a little complicated, but it's doable. You can always add filter caps and inductors to the power lines going in, and even to the power lines that go from the driver board to the motor. That might help a lot, possibly. There's definitely some peculiarities out there with things, electronics being as advanced as they are today.
And one thing to keep in mind, and this would have helped me make a decision on what refrigerator to buy. Do some research and see if these known refrigerators, these models or brands, are known to cause RF. I haven't researched that yet, but it's something that I thought, if a guy was going to buy an appliance, other than looking at 5-star reviews on Amazon for LG versus Frigidaire and blah, 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 do a little research on if they produce RF, and then go with whatever brand, or I guess help that let you make the decision.
Yep. Identify all the brands of appliance and wall warts and other power supplies that hams hate. Doesn't sound like a good business model, but it would certainly be useful to us. Any questions or comments from Artie on this topic? Please call now. Alrighty. Do we have any other topics or questions for the net? Please call net control now.
KF0 ODD.
ODD. Go ahead, Paul.
All right. This is just, I'm throwing this out there. It's a question, and I guess maybe it's just so complicated that it's not worth talking about. But anyways, here's my question that I pose. Is it possible to run analog a separate encode and decode to the radio in its line of transmission to send out and receive our call signs?
I'm going to ask you to specify a little bit more. Your microphone is analog, but maybe you're not talking about voice, or maybe you are?
Thank you. I am talking about using voice and have a separate device that would send out or encode my call sign for it to be broadcasted to whomever receives it, and when they key back and talk back to me, it sends out their call sign to me for me to be able to read. Kind of just a separate box to facilitate that.
Speaking of IDing, N0NYY net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. I am absolutely positive that's possible. I have an ICOM 7300, and if it has an SD card in it, I can record my voice, and for example, I would either just my ID or for POTA, add a CQ POTA, N0NYY, whatever, and every time I push a button, it will do that. That button could be timed, I suppose. The risk with that is that you'd have to include a RSSI detector so you knew not to send that transmission if you were receiving another signal. That's where the complexity would probably come from. But that is certainly all doable in my mind. I don't know if anyone has marketed any devices that will do that for you. I suspect they have, but I honestly don't know. Any input on that for Paul on the analog ID device?
And this is ODD. The reason why I'm asking, I'm just amazed that such a device has not been developed or marketed globally to make it easy for everybody to understand as they key up who they're speaking to, so we could be able to annotate all that information. ODD?
As I said, it would certainly be doable. Some radios already include that capability to some degree. I don't know if the 7300 has a timer built in, so that could be made automatic. But again, if it were to be automated, you'd have to have received detection to know that there was a signal there so that you didn't double with them. I kind of think, over the many, many years that ham radio has been going on, that people's ID and people's voice are just kind of one of those things that everybody's used to. Now, it could be done with your own voice, certainly, but yeah, once you automate to that degree, how do you make sure that that doesn't ID when you're not actually there? I could see that being a question or two. Anyway, any other comments or questions for Paul on the ID situation?
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Roger. I think it would be a fun thing to build as an experiment. Any other questions or topics for the net this evening? Please call now.
This is KE0SCU with a late check-in and a question.
All right. Is that Kilo Echo Zero Foxtrot Charlie uniform?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And go ahead.
I've been shopping around a little bit for some HF equipment. Haven't jumped in yet. I'm wondering if anybody has any experience using the ATOS for a portable antenna, the ATOS 120 by Yaesu, hooking it up to maybe an 891, if that's what I decide to get. Something for like POTA. Has anybody used that and put any radials out for it, or any tips concerning that?
Looking down through the list, and the vast majority of our POTA guys have not checked in this evening. I have used a vertical on the ground with a couple radios. I have an ATAS for the Jeep, but I have never used it in a portable configuration. That would require some kind of ground plane, I'm sure. That might be a good Google question. I'm not sure, or one of the ham website forums. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyone have any input on that?
Kaiser MLG.
MLG, go ahead.
I don't know how it would work without radials, just on a tripod. But boy, if you attach that thing to a T-post, you'd have a ground plane for miles and miles. It wouldn't be a wide ground plane, but man, you'd have reflectors right underneath of it that I bet it would work. And you'd have a good ground. Well, not this time of year. I got an 8-foot ground rod in the ground that can't hardly keep the electric fence going out here. Anyway, or you pour some water around the T-post maybe. But anyhow, I think that would work on a tripod. Try it, and if it doesn't, it wouldn't take much to throw some radials out. But I can't see where that would be any more effective than just putting yourself up a 20 and 40 meter dipole. First, then you'd have to run a tuner, but tuners are cheaper than the antenna. So I don't know. I guess try it.
A quick Google search showed 3 videos on using the ATAS 120 as a portable antenna. One of them is a complete guide to controlling it. One everyone is using it as a portable. And homebrew radio, HOA approved radio antenna. This guy stuck an ATAS 120 out in his yard because he has an HOA. So you might hit YouTube up on that one.
KE0FCU coming back here. I will Google that, and then with the T-post suggestion, you're meaning just the fence T-post that you found in the ground, for lack of better terms.
Well, I mean, if you're out on a park somewhere, most of these state parks, well, they're all fenced, but if you could get to the fence, you would just take a quick connector, they make them for T-post, and just put that thing right there, and you'd be grounded, and you'd have 3 or 4 radials right underneath it. It would work excellent. Matter of fact, one of the guys, we tested, he went out in the field and I stayed at home, and we tested using that exact same setup with radials underneath it for a reflector versus having it over on a tripod, a few feet away. There was quite a bit of difference, so it was a fun experiment anyway. And I can tell you one thing, the ATAS 120 works. I have one on my pickup, and most people, when I tell them I'm mobile, they are very surprised. And nothing fancy. 891 with an ATAS 120 brake, and it's mounted on the driver's side of my pickup on a back rack. I built a bracket for that, mounted it, but I've got bonding everywhere. Well, I don't quite everywhere. I still got to do the exhaust pipe and the alternator and the block to get rid of a little bit of injector noise on the diesel, but you'd be happy with that antenna. K0MLG.
K0MLG, thank you for the feedback there. That was going to be my next question. Just as mentioned, that it was mounted on a truck, so that's great feedback that I'm hearing there. I'm probably going to end up going that way, so I'm going to do some research and see what I can do to set it up portable and run it that way. And when I do, I'll come back with some feedback. Thank you, gentlemen, for the information.
Take one out and troubleshoot it and see what's going on. But anyway, all right. Any other questions or comments on the portable ATAS 120 application?
Well, you lost to the double Bart in the other station. You're welcome, and let us know what you find out. Bart, we didn't hear anything of what you said.
I just asked if there was any other questions, comments for the ATAS 120 discussion. And N0NYY net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Do we have any other topics or questions for this evening's TechNet? Please call now. Well, maybe I get the first short TechNet I've ever had. That would be good. Do we have any late check-ins for this evening's NCARC TechNet? Please call now.
AF0, TUV, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Tango Uniform Victor, Joe in Masonville.
AF0, TUV, good evening, Joe. Any other check-ins?
Kilo 0, Alpha Bravo Kilo, K0, ABK, Alex.
Whiskey 0, Lima Echo India, W0 LEI, Chad and Stout.
All right, W0 LEI acknowledged. Any others? Do our last 3 stations have any questions or comments for the net this evening? Please call now. All right, hearing none, this is N0NYY, Bart and Evans, and I will go ahead and close the NCARC TechNet at 6:33. I would like to thank everyone for checking in, and the questions and the discussions are good as excuse me, I have the hiccups, are good as always. Thank you all again, and 7-3 and N0NYY returning the repeater to normal service.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. For more information, visit our website, ncarc.net. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.